this is the weird part. So there became a shift in the industry, and suddenly people were having so much fun making ads that the industry, largely honestly driven by the creative directors who wanted to be making honestly famous films, started getting the idea that advertising shouldn't necessarily be focusing so much on brand and sales, but that we should instead be entertaining people. I mean, the mindset became, if we entertain people, they won't necessarily know it's advertising, and they'll be more engaged and they'll like us better. So I can't tell you the number of times that, honestly, my mother, my friends would come up to me and say, "Oh, you're in advertising. I just love that commercial where they have that dog falling off of a couch or whatever. Somebody slipped on a banana peel. And it was so funny and I loved it so much." And I would say, "But who was sponsoring the ad and what was the message?" And they would say, "Oh, that doesn't matter. It was just fun." So advertising became, for many, many years, this passageway for creatives to start creating incredibly entertaining content. Well, while that may have been fun for consumers, it wasn't great for the brand builders, for the companies themselves. So I don't know how many of you remember, for example, the Taco Bell advertising where they had a Chihuahua running around the street saying, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Okay, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." And it was all about the dog. People fell in love with the dog. The Taco Bell client that was part of my agency client base actually said during that time, we sold more Chihuahuas than tacos. I was also working at the agency that did the famous Dick campaigns for Miller Lite. Now, this was about this guy named Dick, and he was celebrating Miller Time. And the idea was that they would do wacky, wacky, wacky commercials showing what Miller Time actually could be. One of the standout commercials that I remember was this guy dressed in a beaver suit running on a motorcycle to a campground and beginning to disrupt the whole camping party, and then ended up munching on the peg leg of one of the campers. Okay, seriously, how does this make me want a Miller beer? I mean, Wall Street Journal calls it one of the worst campaigns of all time. In both cases, the agencies lost the business. So the thing that started driving me crazy is that despite the lack of sales success of these campaigns, the trade press loved it. The award shows loved it. The creative directors themselves were being financially rewarded for winning awards for this type of offbeat cleverness. And I didn't understand how we as an industry could be pursuing this type of sales direction when it wasn't resulting in sales. But honestly, at that time, it was far before now, you couldn't directly rate, you couldn't directly relate the advertising to sales like you can now. So the industry, to be honest, I felt like really lost its way for many, many years. And this is the really crazy thing, is that around the same time, there were new brands that were starting to succeed in the marketplace without doing any advertising at all. Now, for us in the advertising business, this was unheard of. Basically, since the beginning of our time, if you were a soap, shampoo, restaurant, car, you could only become a household name if you launched a big advertising. And if you're starting a company, well, what better place to go than the Super Bowl? Well, so we hadn't seen this before. All of a sudden, we have companies popping up in the marketplace like Nordstrom, Starbucks, JetBlue, Zappos, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Amazon, Lululemon, who are growing exponentially and developing a tremendously loyal consumer following. So I felt for our industry's sake, I wanted to find a more predictable path to help my clients succeed. I didn't know where to turn, but little did I know that my epiphany would come over a glass of Pinot Grigio at a cocktail party.